Hello, this is Dane, Tim, and Brandon with SharcTank Media. An indie game developer named Nick Mueller from Curious Panda Games recently approached us here at Shark Tank and asked us to review his game Rhythm Destruction. Rhythm Destruction's $5 on Steam, and it's a pretty unique blend of a rhythm game like Dance Dance Revolution and a top-down space shooter like Ikaruga. What did you guys think?
Tim, you can go ahead.
So yeah, it was a pretty interesting game. Like Dane mentioned, it's a top-down space shooter. Not so bullet hellish as a lot of the newer shooters are these days. However, that's because it's also a rhythm game, and if it was a bullet hell, it would be impossible.
Yeah.
So basically, what's going on is you're controlling your spaceship, trying to avoid obstacles, and also try to get as close as you can to the enemy ships when you destroy them. You destroy them on rhythm with the music when certain prompts come up. Now, the prompts come up with WASD, or is it up, down, left, right?
It's up, down, left, right. The movement is with WASD.
I played it with a gamepad, and it actually did show the buttons from the Xbox 360 controller when I used the gamepad, which was nice.
Oh, that's very cool. It's a game with some really neat concepts, but I'm not sure who the game is made for. I've never played a rhythm game, and I've played a lot of rhythm games. In fact, I love rhythm games, but I've never played a rhythm game where I thought, man, I wish there was more going on. You know, it reminded me of a space shooter mixed with elite beat agents.
Yeah, actually, it's funny, because I was going to say, the game was interesting for me to play, because I'm typically not a big fan of spaceship or airplane shoot-'em-up games, but I love rhythm games, and I've played a crap ton of DDR and Beatmania growing up, and more recently, similar to what you had just said, or I guess relevant to what you had just said, I adored Elite Beat Agents on the DS and Oendon, the version from Japan.
Sure.
And it was a little like that with the way the circles closed in
exactly
on the notes. It did remind me of that, which was a plus for me, I think, definitely.
What did you think, Brandon?
You know, I thought it was a pretty cool concept. Like, I found it really challenging because, like, you don't realize how not ambidextrous you are until you kind of get to try, like, the harder songs in this game. Mechanics-wise and concept difficulty, I really like it. Actually, like, most of my gripes with this game are related to the audio, really, which kind of seems weird because it's a rhythm game, and I thought that might, like, take priority, but it seems like they put more focus onto like the scrolling shooter aspect of the game than the rhythm part.
I'm guessing what you mean is like how there's a lack of noise for explosions and things like that, or laser shooting. There's no noise at all.
Yeah,
there are very few sound effects in this game.
Like there's a pretty loud sound for when you die, but other than that, you get very little feedback from the game in regards to how well you're doing. It's a lot more visual.
No audio cues.
Yeah,
no audio cues.
Kind of like that part kind of threw me off. In other rhythm games, there's generally some form of like audio feedback to kind of determine how well you're doing, like, you know, Guitar Hero / Rock Band. Like if you mess up a note, you know, like the audio cuts out. But you know, if you're doing well, then the song that you hopefully like is playing throughout the level.
Yeah, I see. So it's like if you played like a custom song on Guitar Hero, and they can't make it so that way the notes actually affect the song at all. It's basically just playing an MP3 in the background.
Yeah. That is a lot what it felt like.
Yeah. That was really the only aspect of this game that I didn't like, but I feel like that's something they could fix in the future, so maybe they will.
Maybe. I mean, like I mentioned at the beginning here, it's $5, so, you know, I guess it's hard to expect a whole lot from it. I mean, I guess if we're going to talk about negative aspects, I also thought that it falls a little short as a space shooter as well. I feel like there were certain aspects of some of the levels that felt a little awkward.
It's there. Every boss that I faced, there was something that it did that was impossible to dodge, and which is, I think that the way that they set it up, where one hit and you're dead, but you have an X number of lives, was the wrong way to do it. They should have given you a hit point bar, and you had some way to recover health throughout the level.
Yeah, that would have been smart.
You had to almost do the level perfectly to actually get through the boss, especially in the later. Like, I didn't get to the bosses in the later levels because they're really hard, but I watched videos of them, and seriously, every boss has some BS move that you just can't dodge, even using the booster.
Yeah, it seemed a little haphazard at times. Well, nothing was worse than getting a lot of the rhythm down and working really hard and getting to the end of the level and then dying before finishing the stage. It was kind of a letdown.
Well, I don't know. Like, I never feel like I got to any point where it was impossible, even for the boss. Like, I was just playing the game to record some video for this. For like a backdrop, and I was playing the second to last song, which is like, you know, 4.5 stars difficulty.
Yeah,
I mean, it is kind of like the boss for that is kind of bullet hell because it shoots out a giant wave of bullets, but there's a pattern to it. and then it starts sucking it back in, which is I thought that was a pretty cool boss design.
Oh, that is cool. Yeah, I didn't get to the end of that level, but I fought some of the other bosses.
Yeah, I mean, it shoots out like a spiral, and then like also pulses like these other lasers at the same time. So like you have to really dodge and weave, and then like you have to basically do it in reverse because it'll like spit, like the boss starts spinning around and it reverses the flow of the lasers, and it comes back, which is completely not realistic, spacey, whatever. But I thought that was a cool mechanic. But like I died like a couple times during that boss fight, but it was never because. Like, I don't think it was impossible. It was just like I wasn't going the right way. Was the impression that I got. So
that's weird because I pretty much every boss fight that I was in, it did something that to me it just was really cheap. And unless I had played the boss before and knew that the move was coming and anticipated and got it, you know, I mean, there was always some way that you could get trapped by bullets and things like that without already knowing the fight.
Well, I mean, that is kind of the nature of rhythm games, though. Like, there will be these parts that just kind of get crazy all of a sudden, and it's just like you have to build the muscle memory to get that part down.
But it's not. It wasn't rhythm parts of it. It was the space shooter parts where that failed. It wasn't. I never felt like the rhythm part was more difficult.
Well, I think part of the mechanic is that like if you don't get the hits, like the rhythm part right, you get punished by there being more bullets and other things like other obstacles. I'm not sure if that's the impression that you guys got, but I definitely felt like if you did the rhythm
there
parts
were definitely some situations where you had to destroy something to get it out of the way using a rhythm. By hitting the right timing, you would blow something up and move it out of the way. But there were situations, which I thought was really cool, where you destroy something with the rhythm, and then it would blow up and missiles would fly out of it, and then you have to hit each of those missiles as well.
Yeah.
I thought things like that was really cool. My main gripe with the game, which is actually something that I've seen praised by other reviews of this game, but I don't like it. The notes have different timings, and the way they determine the timing is the color of the circle closing in on it. But the color, it also determines what button you're hitting, and there's other colors flying around. Like, they use colors in too many different situations. They use colors to determine what button you're pressing, colors to determine the timing, and then those same colors are flying at you as lasers. There's way more other ways they could have determined timing, like a different shape or multiple bars for, you know what I mean? There's other ways. I think that using color in that point was distracting to me. I think it's cool that they determined the timing. That was useful, but I didn't like that they used color to indicate what the timing was.
Yeah, I mean, I found myself getting a little confused sometimes in terms of which aspect of the song they were using, you know, whether they changed it from the rhythm to the beats or you know, whatnot, to which buttons are being pressed. And I'm sure if I played those songs over and over again, the same songs, I would probably get used to it as I do with most rhythm games. In terms of positive aspects of the game, I mean, the graphics definitely get the job done, for sure. You know, it's pretty simple, three-dimensional space graphics.
Sure.
And like I said earlier, I do like how the notes closing in on the circles closing in on the notes reminds me of Owendawn and Elite Beat Agents. I thought that there was like some stages have that sort of hyperspace thing, which was kind of unique. That made me think a little bit of Gitaru Man, which is a really, really unique rhythm game on the PlayStation 2.
It reminded me of DJ Hero.
Yeah, it was a little like DJ Hero. I thought that was kind of cool that they threw that in there just to, you know, spice up the rhythm aspect a little bit. And the game was only made by just 2 people, so I think that it's also pretty impressive when you think about that, and also the fact that it's only $5.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd recommend Rhythm Destruction to anybody who's a fan of both rhythm and shoot 'em up, but to those who are only a fan of one of those two genres, it's kind of a toss-up. Definitely worth a try, in my opinion. And like I said, you know, if it's not for you, it's only $5. No big loss.
Yeah, and I think they chose a format that's probably a little hard to expand on. Like, they do have like one DLC out now for an extra song. But, I mean, if you think about it, it's not like Guitar Hero where all you have to do is, if you want to make a custom song, you know, you just have to map out the timing for the button presses, and then, you know, that's it.
Yeah.
But, you know, for this, you have to do like an entire level design for that song. So
yeah, for sure.
That seems kind of, I mean, I hope as a two-man team they can keep expanding on that. Really, I mean, I said I don't really like the lack of like audio feedback in terms of like how you're doing and all that, but I also didn't really like the music in the game, which, you know, I'm guessing the creators of the game like this kind of music, so, you know, I can't be like, well, they should have done more like popular songs or something like that. But
it's up to preference. It was kind of cheesy sounding.
Yeah, for me, the problem was like ramping up. The difficulty ramps up fairly quickly because there's not a lot of songs, so you end up having to do the same song over and over. And, you know, if it's a song you don't like, then it's kind of hard to do the level over and over.
Yeah. Yeah, it was hard for me to play the same levels again, just because I didn't really get into the music either. But yeah, I mean, it's just all about preference.
Yeah, I'm hoping as they add more songs, it's something that I would be able to get more into. Like, I don't know, the songs that they had were, I don't know if they, I doubt that they were made specifically for the game. I'm not sure if you guys know. It was just kind of this generic house music.
Now that you mention it, I intended on looking that up, and I forgot to.
But yeah, I'm hoping they add some more kind of lively music. The songs themselves just kind of seem poorly mastered. So like, there's a beat, but you don't really feel it. Like I was listening, I was playing the game on my headphones, and I still didn't really catch on to the rhythm of the music. It was just it was a little flat sounding. So hopefully, they get more songs in there that kind of spruce up the game a bit.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So yeah, big thanks to Nick Mueller, and what was the name of his company?
Curious Panda Games.
Curious Panda Games. Remember that, you guys. Look out for them. And for $5, I definitely think this game was worth it. So,
this wasn't worth it. You're not allowed to say that. No. Yeah, I think $5 is a fair price for this game. And I mean, I know you guys have said it before, and was it worth it? That $5 is.
It's hard. It's hard to screw up $5.
Yeah, and there's really there's no shitty bugs with the game or anything like that. It's a pretty solid game as far as I can tell. It's mostly just cosmetic stuff that I think it's not impossible to improve that as they go. So $5 is a good price, and I would buy it.
All right, thumbs up all around.
Thanks for listening to this mini collaborative review. Right. You can find our stuff at the place.
All right. Thanks again, Nick, for the opportunity to review your game. I really hope it takes off so the game can continue to be developed and have some new songs added. And thank you everyone else for listening. Remember, you can find Rhythm Destruction on Steam for the very fair price of $5. This is Brandon, Dane, and Tim from SharcTank.com. That's Shark with a C. We're a non-profit, volunteer-driven gaming and geek culture site based in Seattle, Washington. We do local convention coverage, let's plays, tabletop strategy, and game reviews, among other things. Yeah, like and subscribe if you want to support us in our work. If you'd like us to review your game, you can send us a message on YouTube or on our site through the contact form. Have a good one, and we'll see you next time.